Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we welcome you to Medico TV. Right this moment, we shall be having an auspicious interview with
My name is Reverend Mrs. Lydia I, Alfa, also known as Ni Ugudu.
yes, Mrs. Lydia I, Alfa no good here. Just celebrated her retirement Thanksgiving service yesterday. She retired as
I did retire as a director from Central Bank of Nigeria.
in this our auspicious interaction, we shall be asking her some questions relating to her job and career and her personal life. She shall be encouraging you and I, motivating using her life story. You see, in life, it does not matter how you started, but what matters is where you are going, your vision, and your mission. You may start poor, you may start low, and end up very big. I think and I strongly believe that the life story of our mother here will stand as a guide to you. Stay tuned to Medico TV. Mark, after decades of dedicated service at the Central Bank of Nigeria, what core values and principles sustained you and shaped your journey to becoming a director?
Wow. Well, I think the most important thing about my life is absolute trust in God that you can't roll away. Absolute belief and trust in God and rededicating your life and everything that you do around God's own purpose for you. That's very fundamental. That is talking about the spiritual aspect of my life. And then the second one is also standing on tenacity. And never give up spirit. Always wanting to better yourself, always looking ahead. Um, it may sound a bit audacious, it may sound a bit immodest, but that is actually the truth. You don't always feel because your back might likely be on the ground that you are simply down and knocked down. Always having a purpose and letting that purpose, drive you in whatever you do. I think that is what is most fundamental about me. And coupled with the hand of God, when you have a vision and you tenaciously pursue that vision, and also rely on God for His guidance in the pursuit of the vision, then it always takes you to greater heights, I should say. Thank
Wow,
you.
that was a very powerful one. Always rely on God. All right, madam. It is obvious to us that you didn't just wake up and ascend to the height of a director in CBN without passing through some difficulties or challenges at your tender age. So, could you please tell us the challenges you passed through and how you were able to overcome them so that your viewers, our viewers out there, who are passing through the same challenges you once passed through, could get motivated through your life story?
Thank you very much. I think the greatest challenge that I did pass through was actually losing my father. Yes, my father was an all-rounder. He was an epitome of trust. He was a fulcrum for the entire family, and he was somebody who was so passionate about education. Having been an educationist himself, he was a teacher, so he actually wanted everyone to pursue education, right? And so losing him when I was just in secondary school, I had not even entered university, was something that was a great um, setback, I should say. But God, in His infinite mercy, In whatever I am and whatever I've become, I can't really rule out the hand of God, right? But then that was the greatest setback that I had, because when you have somebody that was so encouraging to you, somebody that was always, moving you, wanting you to do better, wanting you to be in school, wanting you to do the best you can academically, and suddenly you lose such a person. It could either have, marred you, right, or make you, depending on the way you decide to pattern and choose your life. For me, it ended up, building my tenacity, building my strength, to pursue my dream, because the atmosphere, honestly speaking, looked very, very, very gloomy, as if you were simply going to end up in secondary school, because he passed on when I was even in my fourth year in secondary school, that is class 4. I hadn't even taken my my class 5, which used to be the final year in the secondary school, and that was when he passed. It didn't look as if I was going to get to the university. It didn't look. There was nothing to suggest that. But I remember that the jump that I took, and I keep saying that, and I had shared that with my children, that the jump brochure, I wrote trial exam. The reason why I wrote trial exam on the brochure was not because I wasn't going to pass. I was almost very certain I was going to pass, but I wasn't sure I was going to go to the university, right? My mother then called me and passionately pleaded with me to say, look, do not take jump. Don't try it, because if you do, you are likely going to pass. And if you pass, how do you go to school? Because you lost your dad. And I said, okay, I wasn't going to do that. But I couldn't see myself not writing jump. And I did say I was not going to write. Then you could write jump for university. You could take exam for polytechnics. And I said I was not going to go to the polytechnic. I was not going to go to the colleges of education, but I was only going to go to the university. And so I took jump and I did pass. And indeed, my name was number 2 when they published it in one of the national dailies. I was number 2 in the whole country. My name was number 2, second position in the whole country. So when the result came out and I saw someone said, your name came out on the, and I said, oh really, I passed? And I showed my mom and she said, I told you, why did you take this jump? And I said, Mama, don't worry. I have taken it, I've passed, and then I will go to school. And the rest is story. So that should have been the greatest travesty, that I should say, that did happen to me. But with the hand of God, at the end of the day, God still saved me, and then I was able to go to the university and graduated, and the rest is.
That was a very inspiring story, a true life story. Hope this story will motivate you. This is someone who lost her dad at a young age. Ordinarily, just like she said, that alone would have demoralized her and discouraged her from pushing further. But yet, she didn't give up. Hope, you will not give up. I may not know what you are passing through today, but I pray that her story will enlighten you and motivate you and keep you going. All right, madam. We would like to know, the moment you graduated from the university, it is obvious that you didn't just get employment into CBN. There must have been other things, other jobs that you tried, other areas of life that you ventured into before you finally saw yourself in CBN. Can you please illuminate those areas of life that you have ventured into before you found yourself in CBN?
Interesting. Right, before CBN, there had been one or two other places that I did work. But let me say that I did my service, my national youth service uh, at Bauchi, and I did the youth service in the year 1985. That's a very long time now, 85, 86. I graduated 85. And I did youth service 85, 86. That's a very long time now. And I had an award. I had a state award, on excellence and excellence, yeah, an award by the state government. And so where I did serve, I was retained immediately. So I should also say that's a hand of work and hand of God, not necessarily my competence or anything, but God still steered me in that direction, and I did get employed. I never really looked for job, so to speak, because my employment letter was actually waiting for me before I even finished the service completely. And so I served with a ministry, the state a state outfit, Bauchi State Agricultural Development Program. I finished the service. I served there, and immediately after the service, I was retained there, and I worked there for about 8 years. I moved to Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Company. I stayed there until 1990. Okay, 86 to 88 was the ADBC, the Bauchi, sorry, BSDP, the Bauchi State Agricultural Development Program. And then from 88 to 19, early 19, was the agricultural insurance company. And then from 1990, towards December 1990, I joined the Central Bank of Nigeria. So that's the trajectory after my graduation. Thank you.
Your story blends professional excellence with spiritual devotion. How did your faith influence your leadership, decision making, and resilience in the high pressure banking environment?
Thank you. First and foremost, my faith, the influence of my faith in my leadership role stems from the fact that my faith talks seriously about fairness, right? About fairness, about empathy, about also honesty and integrity, right? And simply put, where I headed as a director in the CBN is the internal audit department. And so you cannot be an auditor without actually exhibiting and being exhibiting integrity in what you do. You can't be an auditor without actually being accountable or taking responsibility for your action, right? So my faith had helped me in that direction, because my faith also talks about you holding yourself accountable to whatever it is that you are doing or you need to do. My faith also helped me in being fair in terms of leadership, because you have people that are looking up to you. You have people from diverse areas, diverse ethnic groups and what have you, and you needed to carry everybody along. And you have to carry everybody along. You need to be fair. You need to be fair to everyone, whether regardless of gender and regardless of tribe. Where we are is like a microcosm of the country, right? So you have people from different spheres of life, and you needed to also be able to carry everyone along. So in that regard, my faith played a lot of role, to make sure that the people that are looking onto me, the people that I'm coordinating, are able to see me as a very fair and somebody that has a lot of empathy, yeah. So
You are the first female graduate in Ezioposi community in Ohio, the local government area of Ebonyi State. What message would you like to give to young girls who are currently striving to become a graduate?
all right, fair enough, and also a very tough and difficult question. Well, I think the only thing I could tell anyone especially the female folk, is to be focused and less distraction. Be focused, have a purpose for your life, know what you want, pursue your goal tenaciously. Do not allow yourself to be distracted. Incidentally, we come from, but a lot of things have changed though. But like I said, a lot has changed now. But then that was what it used to be, right? A woman is simply expected that, okay, if you finish secondary school, you should just get married, right? And then you should now stay in your husband's house. So even if you want to further, you could further from your husband's house. But things have changed now and people are becoming aware. So for the generation now, it's a lot easier. So the encouragement I could give to them is that they should not lose focus. Don't be distracted. Have a purpose for your life. Pursue your purpose, pursue your goal, and understand that you need to grow yourself. You need to be self-reliant, not necessarily depending on a man. It is better when the two of you work together to be able to build a home rather than when the whole responsibility is on one person. And then you could do that better if you are able to build yourself and be able to put something at the table. You know, the balance you have now, the adage is, what are you bringing to the table? I think that's what the younger ones now are saying. You know, you want to date a woman, you say, okay, what are you bringing to the table? So you should be able to have something to bring to the table. And what will make you to bring something to the table is actually, you can't do away with education. Very, very important, because education will give you a voice. It will not just give you a space on the table, but it will also give you a voice, right? So all I could say to the young ones growing up now, the young ones coming up, the young women, the young girls from Okpose and from well, don't really have Okpose anymore now. Okpose is in Asato now. I can say that you should please, 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 please do not get distracted. Be focused, and embrace God. It's always good to embrace God, because when you embrace God, God will direct your path. Because that's what the Bible says. Say the path of the righteous, the steps of the righteous, right? Now the steps are directed by God. So when you embrace God, He will actually direct your steps and direct your path, and He will make it to grow and to blossom. Thank you.
That was a very powerful one. All right, madam. It is obvious to us that greatness is not all about how much wealth you have accumulated, but how far and how well you have been able to impart positively into the life of the less privileged. As a director in Central Bank of Nigeria, it would be abstract for me to say that you did not empower or touch any life.
Well, thank you so much. I think it's good to be modest here, right? You don't necessarily have to blow your trumpet, but the things that you do will speak for themselves, right? Having said that, I would like to say that I'm somebody that is also passionate in encouraging people, encouraging young ones, seeing to their development. Um, I may not say that I run a program, but I know that I'm also very much into a particular orphanage home in Karo, where I lend my support to almost on annual basis. And they have, I don't want to speak so much about myself in this area, because these are the things that you do, that you're passionate about doing, and you do not necessarily want to get the rewards from people, because you're doing it as unto God. There are people that have also grown through me. There are people that I have also, tutored, not in terms of lecturing them in the class, right? But in terms of giving them focus, giving them direction. There are people that have lived with me, stayed with me, either for service or whatever. and there are people that have also gotten employment, right, through me. I may not be able to sit down here now and start reading off their names and whatever, but nature will be able to speak to the things that one has done and the things that one is passionate in doing and one will continuously be doing. Thank you.
Charity, they say, begins at home. Our people, Ndị Igbo, now says, "Ekuruo ụnọ, amara onye mkparị." Now, as a daughter, as a distinguished daughter of Okposi and Okposi Ekeneshima, Okposi Zinasato, it would be nice if the people of Okposi could hear from you some of the little achievements and impacts you have made in the community.
The impact I've made in the community, in what sense? Let me understand your question.
Okay, I'm trying to say that as a daughter of Okposi Ezina Sato, it would be nice if most people are saying they never felt your position while you were in CBN as a director. So, and the essence of me asking this question is either to prove them wrong or for us to know if it is true. As an investigative journalist, I would want you to throw more light to that aspect.
No, any person is free to air his view. It's an entitlement. You just asked me a question on what I've done, and I did tell you the things I have done, right? And I said I am not in a position here, sitting down here, to start giving out names. It's not going to make me to be a high flyer. It's not going to make me to be a low flyer. And I am in no position to respond to anyone that is a distractor. It's a distraction as far as I'm concerned. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Clear.
So I am not in any way to answer any question that has to be with, no, tell me what you have done, tell me the people that you have trained, tell me the people that you have raised. Anyone that I have impacted in his or her life knows. If the person is an opposite person, an opposite lady, an opposite woman, an opposite man, the person knows. Right? So me sitting down here now telling you I did to Jack, I did to Okoro, I did to Mbeke, doesn't make any reason. That's like trading words with somebody that is already in the pit, and I don't do that. Because I did not do anything, and I will never do anything because of accolades. I will do them because I'm passionate in doing them, and because I see God through what I do. So it is not for accolades. It's not for recognition. So if I say anything now, it's to do that I'm doing that for recognition, and I do not subscribe to that. Have I helped people? Yes. Those that I helped, do they know? Yes. Do you understand? I had some of them from one person? Absolute yes. Should I begin, because you're asking me a question now, to mention their names? No. It's not important. It's not necessary to me. And anybody is free to feel anyhow and say anything. That's what it is.
That was a nice one.
Thank you.
You see, dear fans and followers, I believe you draw a very powerful lesson from her response. You see, it is biblical. The Bible says that what your right hand is doing, your left hand shouldn't know about it. And the highest giving that one can give on this planet Earth is the secret giving. So our mother here is actually a great entrepreneur and a great activist and a lover of human capital development. But she is as well an introvert. She doesn't want to be exposed. What she has done, she doesn't want to blow trumpets of what she has done. What she has done speaks for her. Those people that she has empowered, those people, those lives she has touched, know themselves both home and in diaspora. So those in Oposi, they know themselves. And it would be nice if you can let the world know who helped you. If someone helped you, let the world know that so person helped you. Appreciation, they say, opens more door for more people. All right, ma. As you retire and give God thanks, what moment or achievement in your central bank career do you personally consider the most impactful and memorable?
Thank you. I think the most impactful and memorable is the transformation that was brought to bear upon the department. Now, before now, the department was seen as, in quote, you're the policeman of the bank, right? Okay, and people were always very skeptical to have auditors around them. Okay, there is this thought about auditors as witch hunters, people who want to come and witch hunt, people who want to come and spy over you, look over your shoulder, and only highlight your your faults or your errors, right? Okay. So what I was able to do is to rearrange the people, then my staff and the auditors, right? To be able to ensure that auditing became a partnership program. It's not as if you're coming to load it over to anybody, but you're also coming to help people to also deliver on their services. So that was quite transformational, because you can't come and be the Lord of all, right? Be the judge and the jury. Good. You should be able to recognize that we are all working as a team, regardless of which arm of the institution that you're coming from, and you have the same goal. And the goal is to enable that organization to deliver its mandate. So audit is quite supportive, right? So to reorient people and transform them so that we can now begin to partner with the other arms of the institution. It was quite a very germane and transformative stride, and very commendable. And we received a lot of accolades from the board and the audit committee of the board as well. So I think that was quite remarkable, if I may say. And among other things that were done, but this one is quite outstanding, since you said one. So let's deal with this one. Thank you.
Now that you are retired, it is obvious that you are not yet tired. What would you be doing for the rest of your life? Because we all know that you retired gloriously, and the Almighty God will still keep you alive. So what would you be doing for the many numerous years that you still have here on earth?
Thank you so much. What will I be doing? Waking up, I keep telling people, waking up every morning and then being in the office for almost 35 years doing almost the same thing can be very tiring. And so after almost 35 years of service and you pull out, the first thing you want to do is to take a good rest. You take a good rest and then allow your system to reboot, because your system would have been in a booting stage, so you like the system to reboot so that you can now re-strategize and then refocus and face other things. At this moment, I am trying to rest, allow my system to reboot. But what I cannot take away from, because apart from working in the secular environment, I am also a minister in the vineyard. So that can't be taken away from me. Now, then I was combining the two. Now I have full time. I have time to focus more on the things that revolve around God and the services around His vineyard. So fundamentally, I'll be channeling my energy towards everything that relates to God and the vineyard of God, first and foremost. But I'm all for anything that can also, aid in and the economic development of the country. I'm all for it. I'm all for any other thing, any other way that I could be able to serve my nation and humanity as well. But beyond that, it is more to the service at the vineyard of God. Thank you.
Most people, when they retire from active service, they either fall back to politics or to community leadership. So why is your own different? Why do you want to leave politics, leave community leadership, like vying for one position in the community and choosing to spend the rest of your life in active service for the kingdom?
Okay, thank you. You see, God is central, right? So if you're serving God, you are also serving humanity. If you're serving God, you're also serving the community, right? I am not a political person, even though we say that everyone is a political animal, right? I'm not in the political space. I'm not there. Um, so I can't talk about politics. If it is local politics in terms of community politicking, I am not there equally. Don't forget that I'm a woman and we're very patriarchal in opposite. Okay, don't forget that. So I'm not there. But I would like to serve humanity through the service in the vineyard of God, right? And that humanity can also be my community, can also be the communities elsewhere. But as long as it has to do with human development, right, I am all for it. So that's what it is.
That was a very powerful one. All right, finally, madam, many young professionals, especially women, see your journey as an inspiration. What final legacy message or life lesson would you love to leave with the next generation watching you right now?
If I give you a legacy message, that means I'm dying. I'm not dying.
No, 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 no.
So, legacy message other than the message I've given.
Okay, what would be your message to the next generation? People are seeing you as a role model.
Yes.
People are seeing your journey as a message,
Okay.
as an inspiration. So what would be your message?
My message is very simple. Be yourself. Hold God, right? Have focus. Pursue your ambition with every amount of tenacity, and involve God in the pursuit of your vision. That's just my message. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you, our dear fans and followers, for watching. That was an auspicious interaction. We do hope that the true life story will inspire you and keep you going, irrespective of what you are passing through today. We do hope also that you wouldn't give up, just like she did not give up, irrespective of what she was passing through. Alright, until we come your way next time, we remain Medico TV, your best online television station.